friends, how are you this morning? I hope you're doing well. I wanted to come to you very quickly to talk about the Dark World Lightwork experience a little bit more. We're going to revisit it over and over again every time I and we gather new information. So basically, if you've been following along, you'll know that the Dark World Lightwork experience consists of the book that I wrote, which is a memoir. It is 842 pages long. It also consists of a soundtrack that goes on Spotify, a movement, which is basically these videos, and then the poetry, which is on Tumblr. And today I want to do a little deep dive into the poetry, and I want to explain the Hollywood government connection as it relates to the poetry. So if you go and view some of these pieces of art, you will see that I talk about what I quote unquote call players of the dark world. And the one I'm going to use as an example today is the one I call the martyr. And if you read the excerpts of what I have written about these people, you will see that I basically do a psychological profile of these men and women and of this group. And the reason why I am able to do this so well is because of how they targeted me. I have mentioned this before. The CIA and the FBI regularly use things such as remote viewing, astral projection, and scrying to tap into the energetic signature of targets. And they do this, and they have been doing this for a very, very long time. They've done it to people like Fidel Castro, Martin Luther King Jr., Nina Simone. I mean, they've done it to a lot of people. And a lot of times it has a great deal of success just because of the type of person that they are targeting. Now, they did this to me. And what they didn't understand when they did this was that because my intentions for people are pure, and I am a conduit to the spirit, and I am a worker of light, when they tapped into my energy, I was able to tap into theirs. And I was able to do successfully what they were not. I was able to tap into these people's deepest fears, their biggest hopes, their dreams, their aspirations, and most importantly, their higher selves. And so every time one of these people would come in to siphon my energy, they would get a lot from it. And they would take this and they would go make money off of it by being better performers at their job, or just downright using some of the stuff that I put out online in their work and passing it off as their own. Now, they did all this while keeping me down in a systemic way. And their goal was to do this indefinitely until they'd used me up. However, they didn't realize that the entire time, every single person who did this to me was subject to me getting into all of their brain patterns, their frequencies, and siphoning that for my own use, for my own work, and for my greater good. I'm going to make money off of it now, and I've done it in a righteous way. And these people did it in a very, very sinister way, which is why they only got so far with it and why I will ultimately succeed the most with it. And the way I'm able to break down these people, and this particular man who I used to call the pretty boy, but he's not cute anymore, so now I call him the martyr, is because he was one of the biggest offenders because, number one, because he used the energy for nothingness. And there was a point where this man had a choice whether to be a really dirty person or to kind of have a little bit of class, and he chose not to. And the evidence of that I have as solid proof is the series of movies that he and this crew created. And that's the evidence that we're all going to get to see about just how dark and dirty these people are. And so, like I've said before, I use a combination of esoteric knowledge and then cold hard facts. The esoteric knowledge I gained from them trying to remote view me, and the cold hard facts are the movies that were the product of what they've done. And it's really, really dark and very sinister. However, they didn't realize that all of what they were doing came at a price. They didn't just get to siphon my energy and then I don't get anything back. I actually was able to siphon their energy and do what their agents couldn't. Because the problem with what the agents do is the agents aren't as intelligent as the people who they're trying to siphon from. So they only can get the information to their level of intelligence, which isn't as high as the target. And that is why it never works for them. And that's why it's been so successful for me. I'll be right back. So basically what I do on the Tumblr blogs is, the best way I can put it is, the queens would say I read the girls to filth. So what I can do, because these people have tapped in to try and siphon my energy, I can always just connect to whatever they're up to. And I know exactly what they're feeling and how they're operating, because they can't stop trying to siphon my energy, so they keep connecting to me. And when they do, they get a little bit of my shine, right? And they get to use it for whatever they can. It really doesn't look like it's much. And then I get all of their information. Now, if one member of the FBI uses remote viewing to tap into my energy, I get to see into everything that the FBI is doing. And even if the viewer, the person in the FBI, he doesn't know as much as I know. I just get to use him as a conduit, because I'm a conduit to the Holy Ghost. And these people don't understand universal law, which is something I put in my last post. They don't understand spiritual law. They didn't understand what they were doing. They were way out of their jurisdiction when they came messing with me in this way, because I am a conduit to the Holy Ghost. But they quickly fucked around and found out. And I will continue this conversation, but I think that's enough for now. And I hope that that makes sense. I don't want to give too much information so that it is confusing. But it's almost like, the best way I can put it is, imagine if a person was able to capture alive the mosquito that was sucking its blood, and then take this mosquito and take it somewhere and extract the blood, extract all the information from the mosquito, and save mankind with the information, just because of how important the person was and how eloquently they were able to capture the mosquito who was sucking its blood. I'm the person, and these people were the mosquito. And that's exactly what I've done. And the book is called Dark World, Light Work, where I break it down. You can see an example of my writing style on the Tumblr blog. There is a soundtrack on Spotify that, if you're more of like a musical person, there's really basically something for everybody. If music is your language, I got you. If language is your language, I got you. If visual is your language, I got you. And I will just keep unraveling the tangled web and putting the pieces together as it goes along. And I've been doing this the whole time, and they really thought that what they were doing was a one-sided thing, and that they were just conquering me every single time. And all they were doing was exposing themselves to the light. Okay? And that is Dark World, Light Work. That's how it works, friends. All right, love you. Bye.